What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Fourth and Five presented by Ortho Arkansas. And y'all, man, I just want to big news on Fourth and Five. The channel's growing, and it's all thanks to y'all for hitting that subscribe button. I know y'all see it; it's right there. Just go ahead and tap it for me. I'm gonna tell you what that allows us to do here on Fourth and Five. It allows us to grow. It's done so well, and I just can't thank you enough for how much y'all have just shown love to this channel. And now we got sponsors coming in, and it's allowing us to do so much more. And it makes me so excited to say that this episode right now is sponsored by Ellis Home Inspections, LLC of Central Arkansas. And I tell you, while I was doing my research, I like to do my research before I start doing business with other companies. I want to know exactly what they're going on, what their values are to make sure it's a good fit for us here at Fourth and Five. And somebody who is in real estate, I understand how important inspections can be, especially when you're making the purchase, probably one of the biggest purchases you're ever going to make in your lifetime. You better make sure you're buying something really good. And so when I heard about the guy behind all this, Patrick Ellis, 2 decades of military service, okay? What comes with that? Dedication and attention to detail. 2 things you need when it comes to a home inspector, because I've seen some horror stories and I've heard of them, of inspectors sometimes miss things. Now, I know it's not their fault and they don't do it on purpose, but it happens. But when you got a guy with 2 decades of military service, they don't miss nothing. All right, so it's going to be residential, commercial. Now, when it comes to mold testing, you have thermal imaging now. That's pretty cool. And what that does is it allows you to see moisture that sometimes you miss just by the eye or even touch. The thermals will show it all. I'm telling you, if you are looking to purchase a home, it doesn't matter if it's your first home or your forever home, you need to get that home inspected. And I'm telling you, go check out my guy at Ellis Home Inspections, LLC.com. Easy to call. The number is 501 548 5522, or you can just check out their website at Ellis Home Inspections, LLC.com. And so, like I said, I'm so excited to now have a sponsor for this segment. The comments, it's probably one of my favorite things to kind of give feedback on because y'all got a lot of questions and I want them to keep coming. And I'll tell you this, I even put up with so many comments, allowed an option. If you really want me to see it, you don't have to. Let me preference that. You can send in a $20 donation to make sure I read your comment. I haven't gotten any of those. Okay. So I'm just going to continue to read comments. However, I have gotten donations. I honestly can't believe it. And I can't tell you how grateful we are at Fourth and Five for that. Just a lot of people saying they love the channel. Let me go ahead and show you a few. Right now, I want to give a shout out to Richard Hegwood, donated on Cash App. The thing when you donate through Cash App, you can't leave a message. So I would encourage you to do Venmo because you can leave a message. And so if you had a question on Cash App, I just don't see it. But I will tell you this, Richard, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for donating. And over there on our Venmo page, it was a big week. Jim Daniels, I appreciate you donating, saying thanks for keeping it real. Always going to do that here on Fourth and Five. Phil Jones, another donation, says, keep doing what you're doing. Love the breakdowns. Woo Pig Suey. And hopefully I'm saying this right. Ruben Alexander, another donation saying, great content, brother. I really appreciate y'all. And I'll take what we can get. But at the end of the day, this is always going to be free for our viewers. So let's go ahead and get into a couple of our viewer comments. We got some good ones here this week, some that are going to cause me to kind of think about this and answer questions. I'm going to start with Blind Man J9. Hey, DJ, is there any way for you and your team to take a look and evaluate some of the local Arkansas high school talent maybe during the offseason? I have always felt our local kids never get the exposure they deserve, often fallen by the wayside, never getting noticed by the so-called recruiting gurus, especially right here in the Mississippi Delta. So, okay, I won't read the rest of that comment, but I will say this. You bring up a great point, Blind Man J9. We are working on our offseason plan, and this is the goal. I'll go ahead and give you a little insight to it now. The goal would be to really have a hub where people can send us maybe tape, send us highlights for us to maybe try to look at a couple players. I'm going to be honest, it's going to be very difficult to get to all of them just between Josh and I, but we will try our best. But what I want to do, I would like to, you know me, I do keep it real. And there's sometimes that I see recruits come in that are 5 stars, and then I watch their tape and I watch them play, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a 5-star. Sometimes I see 2 stars and 3 stars, and I look at them like, why do they not have 6 or 7 stars? I know there's only 5, but these guys are unbelievable. So what I would like to do in the offseason, if we can get sponsors on board, which it seems like we're already heading that direction, so I'm very excited about the opportunity here. I want to find these players that are on the Hogs radar and some that maybe aren't on the Hogs radar, and we're going to travel to them in the offseason. I'm going to work out with them, going to get on the field with them, do drills with them. Get in the weight room. At all. But the biggest thing that I want to do is sit down and watch film with them, because I want them to tell me how they see it. And after all of this, putting it all together, I'm going to give them a 4th and 5 rating between a 1-star and a 5-star, how we see fit. And I'll tell you this, it's going to be interesting moving forward, because I know me, and I've been in their shoes before, and I've had tough conversations with some coaches telling me, hey, I know all these people are showing you love, but you need to work on this. And until you get this fixed, you're not going to make it. And I had a decision to make. Am I going to be stubborn and say they don't know what they're talking about? Or am I going to take their advice and get to work? And so I'm going to be able to tell these kids straight to their face what I think. And they can say, how do I say this? Screw you, DJ, or take it for what it is. I don't know how else to kind of put that. I apologize for the way I say it, but it is what it is. So we're very excited for the offseason plan and other things that we can get going as well. So the goal is to keep this going past football season. And to be honest, before we started, I thought this was just going to be a 12-week thing throughout the season. We're kind of doing our thing here. And if y'all want to keep this going, let's make it happen. All right, this is going to be game-related for this weekend. This is from Dawson Long, 2414. Number 4 for LSU, Braden Swinton, is a dog. He's on the D-line. I really think he can cause our O-linemen some issues. I know he's a topic of discussion in the film room. He should be. I'm curious if Grant could comment on this week. Okay, so I'll talk to Grant about this in the breakdown and hopefully address this. But I will say this just to start off. Yes, they do have some talented edge rushers for LSU, and they, as you say, are probably some dogs. But I don't think it's anything we haven't seen before. We said the same thing about Tennessee, who has a guy who's going to be maybe one of the top 10 picks in the NFL draft. We said the same thing about Texas A&M with the guy who's probably going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. We said the exact same thing with... Let me go. Now I wasn't really too worried about Auburn. Oklahoma State, number 30. Oliver on the edge. They said he was a little mini Micah Parsons. So our guys have seen it as far as up front and defensive line. And so I'm not too overly concerned with that. The thing is, our guys need to be, because they need to be consistent, because there is not much drop off between the teams that we've played and the guys we've played. And they're going to have to be on each and every week because there was plenty of plays where Carmona, Pierce, I believe, the DN who was going to be one of the top picks in the draft, the edge rusher, he got all up in Carmona stuff. But I would say more so the other way, that Carmona got all up in his stuff. And so it's just going to be a battle back and forth, and our guys are going to got, no doubt about it. But it's just about that clip from Marshawn Lynch. I'm going to got, but I'm going to make sure I get mines more than I got. I can't remember what he said. I think y'all know what I'm trying to say. Another one coming up from Johnny Turpin 4016. Something I've wondered, he says, about – as I've seen the fan base and somewhat split on the Field the Storm. Okay. They cost $250,000, being probably the most cited argument for not rushing. But do you think there's a dollar value benefiting the PR and recruiting? I don't know the specifics, but I assume that there were high-profile recruits there from multiple sports. You think that, okay, so I know what you're getting at, building that environment. Ooh, this is a good question. Johnny, you're bringing it on this one. There's no doubt if recruits were in town, or this is the thing too, that's a nationally televised game, the most watched college football game that weekend in all of the country. And when they see that type of environment, recruits, they would look at Arkansas, maybe not even a school that they've thought about much, like, dang, look at that place. That looks amazing. I think that had a bigger impact back in the day before NIL in the portal, because that would be the biggest draw. If I remember when we were what year was this? I think it was my senior year during bowl practice. We had a lot of recruits on campus. And I remember a lot of them saying, man, the way y'all practice, the environment that y'all had, it seemed this is wild. I mean, we were so competitive, but we made it fun by the end of coach that era of year 3 of Petrino, and players saw how much fun we were having, but being extremely physical and practice being so demanding. I was like, it was almost like, dang, that looks so hard, but I want to be a part of it. Now it was fun because we were winning a lot of games and we are about to go play in the Sugar Bowl. So yeah, environment matters. I remember when I was getting recruited, I went to that Tennessee game when game day was in town, and Derek McFadden had that little Heisman pose. And I just remember listening to the stands. I was just like, wow, I have to be a part of this. Nowadays, unfortunately, I think what they put first is how much can they pay me first? And then it would be cool to be a part of this environment. So that is what it is in college football. I don't like it. Can't change anything about it. Okay, here we go. This is from Razorback. He has X's on the ends or the beginning and end. Bro, if you have enough to drop a vid every day, do it. Can't get enough of this stuff. Just don't put too much on the plate too quickly and burn yourself out. Seeing that happen to a lot of people. And my humble suggestion would be to expand on former player interviews and guests with either breakdown film or just talk about their playing days. I have a feeling that would bring in an audience. All right, that's what we're trying to do here. So last week in our viewer comments, I asked if we're trying to expand how much we do here on 4th and 5, potentially give you something every day with each thing kind of being different. So Monday, DJ's breakdown. I got great news for that one too. Really cool news. I'll talk about that come Monday. Tuesday, now Josh is going to be going over the defense with former Razorback Matt Harris, and that's just a joy to watch. Absolutely love Matt. He's so good at the intellectual side, and he was fun to play with, and he's a character. So I really think our viewers are going to like that. Wednesday is always going to be our midweek feedback week. And once again, thanks to Ellis Home Inspections LLC of Central Arkansas. Very pumped up about the partnership I'm going to have with them moving forward as I inspect the comments. And then Thursday is going to be our main show. That's where Grant Cook's going to have Let Grant Cook. That's where Josh and I are going to go over the game, talk about the ins and outs. We're going to have the former week's hair-raising plays of the day. And so that's going to be our big show leading up to the game. Friday is kind of an open slot, open for suggestion. So, what I have been entertaining, and so has Josh, we're trying to work and see if former Razorback, now head coach at Fayetteville, Casey Dick, would come on and talk about the quarterback play before the matchup. We just got to see if that works with his schedule. And two, do y'all like that? Or do you want maybe something else to be fit in there? And Saturday is going to be a fun day. It's always game day. That's where we're going to do our Find Me out around campus and win some money. We're also going to have our fan engagement and our post game. That's always done well. So that's our lineup. And I think we can pull this off, especially now that we're starting to get sponsors on board. And it seems to be a good recipe that a lot of our viewers are starting to like. All right, one last comment. I have to keep saying this because I love it. Robert Bridgeforth 2293. DJ, how do I get some 4th and 5 merch? Y'all know where it is. The YouTube page. Go to the link at the bottom. You'll see links, right? Just click it. You're going to see where you can do Venmo or Cash App if you want to do a question, or just donate to the channel if you like the content. Absolutely would appreciate that. But you don't have to. You're still going to get the content for free. But you're going to see a link where you go to All of Me Shops, and it'll send you to a page where you're going to see 4th and 5 podcasts, all the merch. And the temperature's about to drop. We got hoodies coming out. What is it? Toboggans. We actually got new hats coming out, the trucker style with the little emblem. Very excited about that. So we got some big things happening here, and I've just been overly excited with the involvement that we've had from our now community. I'm calling it a community now. I'm calling it the 4th and 5 family. And don't forget, when you're looking for some merch, I'm going to keep a $20 bill on me at all times at a Razorback game in Fayetteville. And the first person that wears a hat and they come up and show me your hat, I'll just give you $20. Now, it has to be the first person, all right? Because the goal is a lot of people are wearing hats, and we're working on it right now. We're balling on a budget right now. So hopefully one day we can give out more. But until then, that first person I see, I'll give you $20. As always, I appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. And once again, beyond the donations, beyond the sponsorships, beyond all that, the best way that you can support this page, if you like the content, just push that subscribe button. Would mean the world to us. And another shout out here to our sponsor, Ellis Home Inspections, LLC of Central Arkansas. I'm going to try my best to maybe get him on the show to talk more about what his company has to offer. Very excited about that moving forward. And if you're interested in promoting your business in any type of form, just send us a message on Instagram or email me. It's attached to the YouTube page. We'll find something to work out with you. If it's not a full segment that's sponsored, we can just do something real quick to shout out your business, maybe shout out an event. And the thing about me, it's going to be extremely affordable. Ask anybody in marketing when it comes to media outlets. Right now, you won't find a better deal than 4th and 5. Now, hopefully one day when we blow up, I can have conversations about, something later. But right now, I'm telling you, I'm cheap just because I really believe in this and I really believe in our community. And it's a way of helping out. And I will put this on your radar. The holidays are coming up. 4th and 5 will do their part when it comes to some holidays around Thanksgiving and Christmas of giving back. And if people are interested in that, if you heard that and you want to be a part of it, I'm going to create a little forum maybe on our Facebook page or Twitter of a community of us that we can all kind of get together and kind of pick something that we really want to focus on and give back as a community for the holidays. And y'all, this is special to me. Josh has been doing a great job too. Make sure you check out his Matt Harris segment from Tuesday and let us know what you want us to do for Friday so we can make sure we continue to give you comment. And I want to get your feedback too on that offseason plan. I think that could be something. I think it could be. Appreciate y'all. You're watching 4th and 5.